Hello everyone, how are you doing today? Wonderful Blessed Life is doing collaboration of a bunch of us getting together to do a meal, a lunch, or dinner, whatever for like $10 or less. So that's what I'm doing. I'm joining in on the collaboration. Now my meal is going to be beef and noodles, and I'll show you what I'm doing and what I've got. So I've got this Thrive can of freeze-dried beef, cooked and seasoned, and I got that on sale for $8.99. I've got 2 cans of sliced mushrooms. Each one were 79 cents. Gordon Foods beef base. I've had that for a while now. It's almost done, and I think I paid $4 for it. So what little bit I'm going to use for this recipe, maybe 50 cents. I've got garlic, onion, and I buy my flour by the 25-pound bags, and I'll show you that. Right there in that chair. So I'm going to make my own noodles, and the eggs I got, so I don't know how much those cost either, and olive oil and salt. So that's it. So I'll get my stuff ready and I'll start putting dinner together. Thank you, Wonderful Blessed Life, for including me in on your collaboration. And let's get this going, right? Be right back. Okay, let's get the dough ready. Make sure my KitchenAid's all nice and cleaned out, which it is. I got the dough hook hooked onto it. And this is what we're going to do. I'm going to put in, that's 1 measuring cup. I'm using my Tupperware measuring cups. 2, 3. I'm going to put 3 cups of flour in it. And I'm going to push this out of my way real quick. I don't trip it because it's heavy. Knowing me, I will trip. All right. A little bit of salt. So I don't normally measure, but for camera's sake, I'm going to. So I'm going to put in, not a tablespoon. A half a tablespoon of salt. And it's not heaped. That's kosher salt that I'm using. And then I'm going to pop this off real quick. I'm just going to whisk those 2 together and create a little bundle there, we should say. All right. I need probably about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Olive oil is just going to make it more stretchy and silky. Okay. I need the yolk of one egg. So instead of going back and forth, I'm just going to use my Tupperware all-in-one little center. You can see what I'm doing? And it grabs that yolk perfectly. Ew. Let it go. Gross. Let it go. That's just disgusting. There we go. I need 3 yolks. And I tested these eggs first in water to make sure that they were fresh. I even do that when I get them at the store for the simple reason you don't know. You don't know how long them eggs have sat. So, get back where you belong. So that doesn't work very easily. So there's 2. It's because I'm shaky, that's why. This is how I do it. I just kind of run it back and forth in my hands. Make sure all the yolk is off it. 3. There's 3 yolks because I'm making egg noodles. Wash my hands and I'll put that in the sink and use it for something else. And then 1 whole egg. All right. So I got my salt, I've got my oil, and I've got my eggs in there. Now for the water. If I need a cup of water, maybe more, I'm going to lift this up. And just going to mix it together. Make sure all those yolks are broke. Yep. I'm going to slowly add in my water. And then this will be ready as soon as it pulls away from the sides of the bowl. I'll put you closer so you can see what's going on. Not very fun watching somebody make dough, is it? I don't want to add too much water because then I'll make a tough dough. I'm going to make it go faster so that we can see if it's ready or not. It takes a minute for the flour to absorb the water. So you don't want to put in too much water. Add just a little bit more. And go fast again until it pulls away from the sides. Into a ball. A little bit more. That should be plenty of water. That's about 3/4 of a cup of water so far it's added. Yep, now she's pulling away. See how that's pulled away? That's our dough. Now look. Got good elasticity. I'm going to knead it for just a minute longer. Then I'm going to put that in the refrigerator. Okay, while that's kneading, I'm going to bring you back over here. Back where you were. Clean out my sink real quick. Dump that water. Egg yolks I'll set over here. Now for to use this shredded beef, I'm going to drop you down. I'll shut that off because that's done now. I'm going to have this soaked and have it put in the refrigerator, everything ready. It's only 2 o'clock right now. I've got to go do some errands in town, so I just want all my main ingredients ready to where all I got to do is roll out the flour or the noodles and get the meat and everything together so I can, have dinner. So it says on the can to do 1 cup of the dried beef to a 1/2 cup of water. Today's date is 15th. So because I haven't opened this yet, I'm going to put down the date that I opened it so that I know when I got to use it up by. And the ingredients is beef and salt. So I'm going to use it. You can see that I'm opening it up fresh. And this is what it looks like. Little chunks of beef. So 2 cups of beef. I'm going to see if that's going to be enough for my dinner. I'm going to put them in here and refresh it that way. So this is a 2-cup measuring cup. So there's 2 cups. So there's 2.5 cups of dried beef in 1 can. And I'm going to use all of that. So I will need to refresh this. I'm only going to need 1 1/4 cups of water. And I'm going to use hot water. I'm sure you don't have to, but I'm going to. Very hot. That's about 1 1/4 cups. I'm just going to pour that in over the meat. I'm going to put my lid on it. Make sure the corners are on it and burp it. And then I'm going to shake it up. And then it says, oh, it smells really good. Oh, let me get that out because we don't need that in there. And once you do open a can, it smells just like beef, guys. Once you do open up one of these cans, and if you don't use all that, guess what? This is no good. Just toss it. It's already served its purpose. So, oh, it smells really good. I'll say that. So I'm going to put this, let this rehydrate, refresh, I should say. And then I'm going to put my dough into a little baggie and put that in the fridge. We're actually just going to wrap it up in plastic. Look at how nice that looks. Beautiful dough. Came out beautiful, so I'm going to wrap that up in plastic, let that chill in the refrigerator until I'm ready to do it. And then I'll come back when I'm ready to do the rest. Be right back. Okay, so it's the next day. We ended up not having the meal last night, so that's why I'm wearing something different. I've already started rolling out the pasta. I'm making pepperoni noodles shape. That's the long, flat ones, like that. And then you pile them up on your little pan, like this, while you work out. All right, let's get this going. I'm just going to show you how I do it. I would assume people know how to roll flour, but sometimes they don't roll flour. Roll pasta. So put a little bit of flour there and try to keep enough not too much, but enough flour on your board, your working surface. I got this roller at Goodwill for $5. Gosh, almost. I'd like to say 15 years ago. It might have been a little bit before, a little bit after. They're not cheap, but they sure do work good. I make my own lasagna noodles. I'm going to attempt to make bow noodles. So I just keep going down. I'll go through it, each little level. There's numbers on the side of this. And it starts from 9, I believe, and goes all the way down to 1. Looks like 7, I'm sorry. So it goes from 7 down to 1. So each time you just drop it down a level and you roll it up. It's getting hot here. It's going to be 85. Very little wind. On the stove, I have my pasta going. My water, not pasta, water. Dry flour in there. I try to tap off some of the flour. I don't know if I already did that. It isn't going to hurt if you go through twice. Just try to keep it in the middle. I'm just going to flip that over. That tension of holding it back there, just from that, is going to help me keep the tension good. All right. A few more and we're almost done. Well, there's my niece and my nephew. I'm making a video, Brandon. Thought I better holler out at him. The more you lower the level down, the more longer your pasta gets because it's getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Then I just kind of, I've got one more level. Now when it comes through here, I cut it off to the length that I want the pasta. Then I flour it good. Like that. Some are longer, some are shorter. That's the, I mean, you could try to be really perfect with homemade pasta. It's not easy. So I just stack it on top of each other. Oh, Lord. Whew. And the reason I keep putting flour like this is because it will stick if you don't when you're going to cut it. I think I can get probably about another 2 out of this. And then this one. Okay. So now, just going to kind of put that there, like that. And you can see it's not perfect on all levels, but most of it is. So we're going to take these 2 messed up ones. I do try to straighten them up at the tops a little. Not always easy. And keep them where they're piled as, try to get the edges as close as I can. Then these top ones are just going to be messed up. There's nothing I can do about that. Then I start cutting. And I'll take them apart. And then try not to layer them on top of each other as much as possible. Shake it around and twist it and put it on the board. That's it. That's how I do my pasta. It's not perfect, but it sure does taste good. If you want perfect, you got to get it from the store, not from Angie's Pantry. And I'm not cutting hard into my table, so these little ones, I just kind of, you know, they're good. We got little ones. She'll like eating those. Just kind of shake it up. See, it's nothing too drastic, but you want to keep the flour coated on there. But when you go to boil it, make sure you shake off as much as the flour as possible off the dough, because you don't want that in your water. So you can tap it off, twist her, and lay it on your board. Hey, ain't that pretty? That's our pasta. Shake it around, tap it off. Now I've got my water boiling over there. Once I get everything ready to cook, I'll come back for you. I gotta clean up this mess. And this is good. I'm gonna let these kind of just dry out for about 10-15 minutes. What I don't use, I will freeze. Simple as that. All right, we'll be back in a few. Oh. Okay, so now we're on to making the beef part of the beef and noodles. Here I've got chopped up onion and garlic and mushrooms, 2 cans of the mushrooms. I use my Tupperware mini chopper to chop up the onions very well, because we have a little one eating dinner with us and there's onion in it. She ain't going to eat it. What they don't know, don't hurt them. Okay, in this pan, I'm going to turn this on, get this heated. I've got water boiling. Here I've got some beef base. First, I'm going to pour some of this hot water in it that I just steamed out or heated up. I'm going to do about 2 cups to start. And we'll see, go from there. Now, the roast from the, look at that, that's already refreshed from yesterday. Again, I didn't, we went out, so we did not have dinner here. We had sandwiches later. So in here, I'm just going to put maybe a couple tablespoons of this beef base in there to make like a beef broth. It's going to be spectacular. I'm going to use my whisk. Now I also have my cornstarch out in ice water to thicken everything up when it's time. So I'm going to put my mushrooms. First, I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. The top wants to come off. Just enough to coat, a couple tablespoons. Then I'm going to put in my onions and my mushrooms in that pan. And just brown it. Brown her up. While that's in there, I'm going to start seasoning this up. This is garlic salt. Put it away as I use it, right? Some parsley. You see what I'm doing? Let me see. Not very well, right? Oh, yep, you can see me now. So a couple handfuls of parsley. Smells good. Salt, paprika when that time comes. A little bit of celery seeds. Remember, a little celery seed goes a long way. About like that. Crush it up. Now this is just how I make it. You can make it, of course, add and take away anything that you want in yours. I'm just giving you a rough idea of how I do mine. Stir it up a little because I don't want my garlic to burn. It's raw garlic in there. Smelling good. You do need to add some salt. Even though there's salt in the beef base, I still want to add salt to the mix. So I got my kosher salt. Oh, but like that much. Salt makes flavor. And let's see now what. I think now's the time that I'm going to add in the roast beef. I want all of it out of there. I want it flavored but browned a little, you know. I'm going to put that in there. Add a little bit of smoked paprika. That just gives a really good flavor. A little bit of granulated garlic. A little bit of fresh pepper. Smells wonderful. With smell-o-vision. A little bit of Lowry seasoned salt. And last but not least, a little bit of white ground pepper. That's become one of my favorite peppers. It's not too harsh. It's a very sweet pepper. And it smells wonderful. And a couple tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. And that's going to help with the coloring of the gravy. All right. Have a sip of my tea while that cooks. All right, let's see how we're doing, huh? Because there's no fat in that meat, I didn't have to cook it. You know, I kind of love that idea. This is a really fast meal. I didn't have to cook a whole roast that I paid $13 to $18 is what they're running from here. And I probably would have got about the same amount of meat that I paid $8.99 for the little thing on special, the little canister on it. And I didn't have to cut the fat off and all that stuff. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of olive oil on there because I like olive oil. Whisk this up one more time. Let's add this to the mix. Oops. Wait before I add that to the mix. I'll stir that around a little. I got to add flour. This is how I make my gravy. You don't have to. But I like to sprinkle a little bit of flour over the top of this stuff. And then cook it off a little. And then I'll use cornstarch the rest of the way. Smells really good. Get that flour cooked in. Nobody likes the taste of raw flour. There we go. Yum. Add the rest of that in there. Might make up a little bit more. I don't know. What do you guys think? A little bit more? I'm taking a little bit more broth. Actually, I'm just going to add a little bit more hot water. Oops. Hot water in the mix. There we go. Add the rest of this beef broth in it. There's not much in the bottom. I want to get it all out. There we go. It smells so good. I'm going to let that cook together for a few. And then I'm going to make my slurry and make it into a gravy. I still need a little bit more Worcestershire sauce, I think. You know what? I'm actually going to try it. Because you got to sample your food as you go. Make sure it's good. It's hot. It's really good. It doesn't need no more salt. It's actually pretty good, I think. If anything, I would add actually nothing. I think it's good. That's how good I think it is. All right, I almost tripped over you. Now I'm going to add some cornstarch in here. Actually, the rest of the cornstarch. Wow, I've really got to start stocking up, huh? Now, when you cook noodles, it takes just minutes for them to cook. So I'm going to drop some noodles in. I'm going to add about, well, that much water. Stir the, it's called a slurry when you do this. And cornstarch will not clump. But we're going to let that get good and boiling hot. While that's doing it, ouch, I'm going to take off my lid to my noodles. My water, I should say. And grab a couple piles of noodles that I have behind you. Make sure come up to a boil for a minute. There. Well, that's working. I'm going to drop this in. Just kind of stir as I go. Flip it in. Stir it all in there. You would think I would have had enough room in that pan. I do. I just got to be really cautious. There we go. That'll thicken up real nice into a nice gravy. See how nice and thick it's getting? Beautiful. Nice and thick. Cook for a few more minutes and then turn her down on low. Nice thick gravy. Don't that look yummy? All right. Let's check our pasta. It should be about done. Like I said, it doesn't take long for pasta to cook. So I'll bump this heat down off of this to the simmer. Give that a minute longer. Ooh, it's hot. It's hot in this kitchen. I want to stir it around. I know you can't see what I'm doing. But y'all cooked pasta before, so y'all know. Almost done. A little bit longer. It takes a minute for it to come back to its boil. But I don't want that bottom to scorch. Then we'll put this all in one big huge container and serve it family style. But for your purposes, I'm going to put some in a bowl and show you the topping that way. Okay? Okay, there's my pasta. I have a wood spoon. Hold on. A little bit of the roast and the mushrooms in there. That is how it's going to look out. My parsley did not went bad on me, so I don't got fresh parsley. But I will top it with a little bit of parm. And it is done. That's it. See how easy that was? A meal under around $10. A little bit of parm on there. We'll give that to baby girl. Just like that. You see good? All right, everyone. You see me okay? Thank you for watching, and I hope this inspires you to make your own pasta and try to do a meal in your own pantry that you have. Or if you go to the grocery store, buy something or online or whatever for $10 or less to make a meal. Have a great day. Big hugs from my pantry to yours, and God bless.